Start saving today. Call or visit physiciansmutualdental.com. Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
Start your morning at 5, 6, and 11 a.m. with Andrew Ward. Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 4:30.
Now at 4:30, disturbing discovery: what a Lincoln father found at the park, sparking concern for his toddler and raising questions about community safety. Plus, questioning contracts, the new backlash on flock cameras all over the country, and what law enforcement officers are now doing and deciding about the technology. Plus, safety in the city, the uptick in violence that's raising questions among community members here in Lincoln, and what a special LPD unit is doing to protect victims. But first, new at 4:30, UNL is taking big steps to fight against homelessness in Nebraska. Good afternoon, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Mackenzie Johnson. A UNL program is now one of 10 involved in a national partnership. The group is working to provide shelter for families that are facing financial hardship and who are at risk of losing their homes. The Center on Children, Families, and the Law joining an organization called Right at Home to build a Nebraska homelessness prevention system. They plan to offer financial assistance and other resources to help families resolve short-term housing crises. They say it will help keep families out of the streets and reduce heavy reliance on shelters and other emergency responses, which UNL says can be more costly. Now, this comes at a time when the cost of housing is reaching new highs, with many struggling to afford rent. According to a study from the University of Notre Dame, early intervention like this helps, and more than 90% of households remain housed up to 2 years after receiving the assistance. New tonight, a sudden uptick in suspected abduction cases in Lincoln is catching attention. We went digging to hear people's concerns and how victims are being protected.
Good afternoon, I'm Skylar Sears. Coming up at 5 and 6, after 2 alleged abductions in Lincoln within just days, I'm taking a closer look at what can be done to protect victims when domestic violence escalates. I spoke with the Lincoln Police Department's Victim Assistant Unit today about what protections can be put in place when someone is concerned for their safety. Coming up at 5 and 6, I'll take you inside the unit and show you what I learned about those protections and their limits.
And a local advocacy group called Center for Survivors sharing some resources to help any victims. They say all 93 Nebraska counties have centers assisting those who have been impacted by domestic violence and sexual assault. Now, this map here showing many of those centers that are run by the group, and you can see they're highlighted in yellow on the map on your screen. If you need help, reach out to your local police or any organizations offering services for victims. Well, a big change out there this afternoon after some strong storms swept through the state overnight. Heavy downpours bringing a lot of rain around our area. Citizen journalist Dennis showing us what he gathered in his backyard in Ceresco early this morning. That's about 2.5 inches of rain, he says. Let us know how much moisture you got in your neighborhood, or if you have any damage. You can scan the QR code there on your screen to send a video to our Now Local News app today. And here in Lincoln, strong winds leaving behind some damage, as citizen journalist Melanie is showing here in this video. A branch ripped off of a tree and laying in the front lawn of the home there. Let's turn things over to meteorologist Rusty Dawkins for our first forecast tonight. Rusty?
A very unsettled weather pattern. The good news is it's been giving a lot of folks some much needed rainfall. Now, western Nebraska needs a lot more, but at least they got some. But look at this swath. The strong to severe storm started over here by O'Neill and just kind of made a beeline south and then took a turn and headed right for Lincoln, Nebraska City, and York. So around an inch to 1.5 inches in this red swath here. In fact, I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see a few more rain totals. Columbus over an inch, near an inch in York and Aurora, Grand Island and Hastings an inch. So yeah, it was, that'll do. Temperatures right now in the 70s and 80s. It's still 74 in Thedford. Everybody else in the lower and middle 80s. 75 in Falls City, but 82 in Lincoln, 82 in York, 84 in Aurora. Dew point a little high, upper 60s, lower 70s, so a little bit of moisture out there. Scattered showers and isolated storms here between Fairbury, Beatrice, and Falls City. Some sunshine for parts of in and around the Lincoln area. Then a little light rain trying to fall in central Nebraska. There are more chances for severe weather over the next couple of days, though. I'll break that down in a few minutes.
Thank you, Rusty. And a temporary closure now on South 56th Street in Lincoln. That's the portion between Old Cheney and Nebraska Parkway. Citizen journalist Brian showing us crews preparing to begin work on the traffic lights there. That closure is set to begin at 7 o'clock, and everything should be back open by 10 tonight. In several Lincoln schools back in the classroom today. The Diocese of Lincoln is back in session this morning, sharing these photos to social media of teachers and staff working with kids at Lincoln Pius X. Now, they attended a retreat and some professional development to prep for the first day today. Bishop James Conley of Lincoln sharing some words of wisdom heading into the new school year.
And as we open our Catholic schools to begin a new academic year, let us pray that this wonderful mission of Catholic education might flourish. There's nothing more important than the formation of our young people.
Best of luck to all the students and teachers in the school year. Only on 8 tonight, a Lincoln father is speaking out after a shocking discovery at a local park.
Good afternoon. I'm Emma Norwood. I'm out here in the Woods Park area at Neighbors Park behind me, where one dad was taking his 2-year-old to play on the playground, and to his surprise, his 2-year-old picked up a pipe with what appeared to be drugs. Coming up tonight at 5 and 6 o'clock, I got to speak with this dad about what that experience was like as he walked me through the exact steps of what happened. He also tells me how he's hoping that this will make other parents be more aware when they take their kids to the playground and how they're on more of a lookout whenever they're going to play. He also says that he was shocked because this doesn't usually happen, especially in a very family-oriented neighborhood just like this one.
Developing now, opening statements today in a major federal case concerning social media and children. Meta is accused in a lawsuit of designing dangerous and addictive products for young users. ABC's Mike Dabuski reports.
In Oakland, California, 4 state attorneys general are arguing that certain features on Instagram and Facebook have negatively impacted the company's customers, especially children. The lawsuit, originally filed by more than 30 states in 2023, says Meta used, quote, powerful and unprecedented technologies to keep young people engaged on the platforms for as long as possible. According to California Attorney General Rob Bonta, it resulted in, quote, physical and mental harm, and that the company's actions exploited our most vulnerable residents to boost corporate profits.
And just like we talk about products like cars or cigarettes, they're making similar arguments as to the fact that Meta knew and continued this practice of very dangerous and addictive products.
In a statement to ABC News, a Meta spokesperson said, quote, we strongly disagree with these allegations and are confident the evidence will show our long-standing commitment to supporting young people. Meta calls these claims unsubstantiated, adding in a statement, this is an attempt to penalize Meta for industry-wide challenges like age verification. Meta is estimating that financial penalties in this case could total $1.4 trillion, which they call vastly disproportionate. Most content on social media is protected by Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which holds that a company cannot be held liable for illegal content published on its platforms. But previous cases in New Mexico and California have successfully argued that Section 230 doesn't apply to these questions. Instead of content, they argued, these cases target features like push notifications and infinite scrolling. In the New Mexico case from earlier this year, Meta is facing fines of nearly $1 billion. The company is appealing the cases in both New Mexico and California.
Meta also revealed it spent $2.4 billion on legal expenses alone in the second quarter of this year, and last month revealed a rare decline in profits. The trial is expected to last about 6 weeks. Mike Dabuski, ABC News, New York.
New details now. A hospital executive is stepping down after accusations of fraud from the state auditor's office. Mike Foley releasing a report this morning saying an administrator at the Friend Community Healthcare System made inappropriate purchases worth tens of thousands of dollars with hospital funds. Foley says the executive has since stepped down from his role and is making retribution for the money that was taken. Foley also reports the former executive made more than $38,000 in credit card purchases under the hospital's name. That included things like hotels, golfing, subscription services, and restaurants. Now, we covered the opening of this hospital 2 years ago. The community telling us then that they were very proud to be the state's first rural emergency hospital. Mike Foley calling this kind of misuse of funds, quote, disturbing. We're reaching out to the hospital for a comment on Foley's claims. Coming up right after the break, bringing back the boom, the creative ways the city officials are looking to attract more people to downtown Lincoln, and how you can make money on your next visit. And coming up all new at 5, a big red reveal. The Husker football team opens up about their preparation as they kick off a new season. Our sports director, Will Charlton, breaks down how they're feeling tonight. And don't forget, all of the Kansas City Chiefs preseason games will be right here on Channel 8. Their next matchup is this Saturday at 6:30 p.m. They'll be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Just stick around after our early newscast to watch the game only here on Channel 8. We'll be right back. Right now, city officials are looking for ways to keep the downtown area booming. They want to entice people into visiting local businesses, even with the inconveniences that can be caused by road construction. So they're using money as an incentive to hopefully reduce stress on downtown businesses.
For Channel 8 News, I'm Andrew Ward. Lincolnites may have the chance to win some gift cards. The city is encouraging people to enter the O is Open sweepstakes. Several portions of O Street are currently closed for repairs, but businesses are open. You can see, though, it's just kind of a mess in that area. In this video submitted to our Now Local News app by one of our reporters. Now, downtown Lincoln is giving away up to $1,000 in gift cards to help support these businesses. All you got to do is support a local business downtown and then scan the QR code in store. The promotion runs until October 15th with prizes announced October 25th.
Time now for our full forecast here at 4:30. After a busy morning of rain today, Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins tells us what we're looking like out there tonight. Rusty?
Yeah, no, we can't even look back at it too long because we have another round coming tonight and tomorrow and the day after. It's just one of those patterns we're stuck in that severe weather is going to be possible on and off throughout the next several days. But Honda of Lincoln, Cam, no severe weather out there right now. 27th and Yankee Hill Road. Really just love this shot this time of day, this time of year where the sun is just right. It's like a painting. It's almost perfect. 82 degrees, feels like 85. A little bit of humidity with that dew point at 68 degrees. Hour by hour, temperatures eventually dropping into the upper 60s tomorrow morning. The wind speed next to nothing. We have not had a whole lot of wind this summer. I'm going to knock on wood just because. A little bit of light rain trying to show up here in central Nebraska and then moving into the North Platte area. A little bit of shower activity towards Beatrice, Gage County, south and east. Nothing really going on, though, overall strong weather-wise. That may change. I'll show you that here in a second. Lots of sunshine, a few clouds here and there. 48th and Cornhusker Highway. Look how green it is. My goodness. We have seen a lot of rainfall in the capital city this August, and it really shows. Unfortunately, not the entire state hasn't seen as much as we have, but we're almost 3 inches above for the year. That's unheard of. About 23 inches so far. We should be around 20 inches, so well above. 24-hour temperature difference. This is nice too. Temperatures have been falling into the middle 60s and staying there for a good portion of the evening, overnight hours, and then slowly but surely getting back into the 80s. Now here's what I'm talking about with the severe weather. Kind of all over the place. We've got yellow here, which is a slight risk, yellow here, which is a slight risk, and then over there and over there. Everybody else is in the green shaded marginal risk. So just about everybody has a chance for storms. I think the better chance will be in those areas shaded in yellow. And here's what I mean by that. Notice there's a few blips here and there across much of the state, but the stronger storms will be down here. And this is tonight. It's another overnight storm chance. I don't know why Mother Nature doesn't want me to sleep, but apparently she doesn't. Storms down here just south of Beatrice and Hebron. Again, these are on the edges. That continues. Storms down here by 1 o'clock in the morning on the other side of that Nebraska-Kansas border. Strong storms to the north and west and to the south and west. Most of the state looks to be dry. And then this thing comes our way, and that's going to be making its way towards central and eventually southeastern Nebraska by tomorrow morning. Yes. Temperatures out there right now in the 80s, lower 80s at that. So enjoy the afternoon. It's pretty nice out there.
Definitely. Thank you, Rusty. And let's take a live look at the roads here in Lincoln. This is 27th and South Streets. You can see a bit of construction going on there, but actually the lanes that are super busy doesn't look like maybe they have construction on that side. It's on the other side of the road that's actually empty. So, oh, there we go. Even some more orange cones. Looks like maybe every direction is dealing with construction out there tonight, but for the most part, looks like everything is moving fairly smoothly. New developments. Some cities around the country are rethinking their contracts with Flock after widespread criticism. ABC's Michelle Franzen reports.
Frustrations growing in Ohio and beyond.
This has gone without any kind of brakes on the system.
Today, the commissioner of Lucas County, which includes Toledo, is asking the sheriff's office to pause the use of Flock's automatic license plate readers, or ALPRs. Those cameras scan every license plate that passes, logging the vehicle, time, and location into a database police can search, no warrant needed. Commissioner Pete Gerken says an audit of Lucas County data found between June 20th and July 20th there were more than 900,000 searches, with around 3,200 law enforcement agencies making those requests. The largest amount of searches coming from outside of Ohio. The commissioner says he has questions about the nature of those requests.
So the question is, why is this so broad? And what are they looking for? What are the legitimate uses?
The sheriff's office says it has no plans to pause the use of cameras.
Automatic license plate readers are an investigative tool.
While no potential misuse has been reported in Lucas County, the Washington Post reports at least 50 officers around the country have been accused of misusing plate readers to allegedly spy on their wives, their girlfriends, and their exes. In Arizona, officials in 4 cities in less than a week have come forward about potential misuse. 2 of those cities, Surprise and Chandler, are now canceling their contracts with Flock. Last week, the company Flock said it will now automatically lock out officers whose activity looks abnormal, delete data after 7 days instead of 30, let cities choose which type of offenses other agencies can access, and require a criminal case number for every database search. In a new statement to ABC News, a Flock spokesperson says the response from law enforcement has been, quote, overwhelmingly supportive, and that more than 40% of their law enforcement customers have voluntarily adopted audit assistance, which will be required by the end of the year. Michelle Franzen, ABC News, New York.
New at 4:30, 6 Nebraska fire departments are getting an important grant to purchase much-needed equipment. Those include the Syracuse and Oconto volunteer fire departments, along with 4 others. Now, they're part of 150 departments across the nation that will receive $1.5 million. Nebraska's share of that is about $10,000. It's expected to help buy things that will help keep those firefighters safe at work. That grant is provided through the State Farm Good Neighbor Firefighter Safety Program. And here in Lincoln, a new batch of future firefighters and EMS workers training for the job. LFR introducing those new recruits today. You can see a bunch of them lined up there ready to complete their training and officially join the team. They're joining at a time when many fire departments all over Nebraska and even in other parts of the country are seeing fewer people signing up for the job. Coming up after the break, kindergarten scare, why health officials are sounding the alarm as kids make their classroom debut, why children are at a high risk. And coming up all new at 5, gone for good, the longtime Lincoln businesses permanently shutting its doors after more than 6 years in business. What drove them to that decision and what's next? We'll be right back.
This Labor Day, the rest you deserve is in the all-new Sleep Gallery at Schaefer's. And a better rest means a better you. And it all starts with our exclusive comfort mapping system, which helps you select your perfect fit. And once you have your match, take advantage of huge savings on all Serta, iSeries NXG, and Beautyrest Black mattresses, now with up to $1,000 in savings. Plus, get interest-free financing and free delivery on every mattress set $9.99 or more. So stop in and rest easy this Labor Day in the Sleep Gallery at Schaefer's.
Working this land takes hard work, experience, and trust. It's a way of life passed down generation to generation. That's why Senator Pete Ricketts worked to end the death tax. So family farmers can now trust that our land will pass down to our kids and grandkids. And Pete Ricketts is now working to restore trust in our public servants again by banning congressional stock trading. Hard work, experience, and trust. That's Senator Pete Ricketts.
Sleep better and save now during Comfort Made Mattress Factory's Spend More, Save More sale. Spend $1,500, save 10%. Spend $3,000, save 15%. Spend $4,500, save 20%. Let us make your perfect mattress right here in our locally owned store. Any size, any shape, any comfort level. Backed by our lifetime comfort guarantee. If your comfort needs change, we'll come to your home and adjust your mattress. Because when you sleep well, so do we. Come see us today. Sale ends August 20th. Comfort Made Mattress Factory at South Point, next to Shields.
Get this exceptional offer on a 2026 Cadillac XT5. Visit your local Cadillac dealer for this attractive offer.
Do you need hearing support? Don't be left out of the conversation. Here at Christensen Hearing Analytics, we understand that better hearing is better living. We provide the hearing solutions you need. Contact Christensen Hearing Analytics for a free consultation today and write the happy ending to your hearing story.
Craving a mouth-watering sub sandwich? Look no further than Sid's Deli and Subs. Serving fresh, made-to-order subs with your choice of sliced meats and cheeses on our soft, fresh-baked bread. Come and taste the Sid's Deli difference. Sid's Deli and Subs, 33rd and Cornhusker, Lincoln.
At Swanson's Martial Arts, we're building more than skills. We're building confident kids. Our experienced instructors create a fun, structured environment where kids of all ages learn discipline, respect, confidence, and focus, all while staying active and engaged. With a wide range of classes for all ages, we're a great fit for busy families. Every class is designed to help kids grow on and off the mat. Sign up now to start your martial arts journey.
Back to school, and for many, it's their first time in a classroom, but a record number of kindergartners haven't gotten their routine vaccines. ABC's Yuri Benajoud explains this could impact not just students, but entire communities.
There's now a record number of young kids that may be at risk of getting sick from infectious diseases here in the U.S. Exemptions for routine vaccines in the latest school year have hit a new high. An estimated 4.2% of kindergartners had at least one vaccine exemption, according to the latest CDC numbers. That's up from 3.6% the year before and nearly double the 2.2% from just 5 years ago. Most of those exemptions were for non-medical reasons. It comes as the number of kids sick from certain vaccine-preventable diseases is also on the rise. CDC numbers show measles cases in the U.S. have hit a 35-year record high. There are currently more than 280,000 kindergartners left unprotected from the virus, the most contagious on the planet. The American Academy of Pediatrics warning that even small dips in vaccination rates lead to more outbreaks. Doctors urging parents to ensure their children are up to date on all their vaccinations. Yuri Benajoud, ABC News, New York.
Rusty, it seems like we've been getting a lot of storms lately, and I hear maybe it's not even the end of them.
No, and it's a strange time of year to get this much precipitation. I did look at the last several years, and there have been a lot of precipitation in the month of August, but it usually comes from like one massive storm where we see 2.5 inches, 3 inches of rainfall, and then that's it. But this has been exactly what we need for precipitation, and that's rare. Well, not everybody is seeing exactly what we need, but Lincoln sure has. Temperatures are in the 80s right now. We'll fall into the 50s, 60s, close to 70 in some spots, and then highs tomorrow. Look at that, 70s and lower 80s. I think we'll see more cloud cover, and then we start to warm up, and temperatures in the middle and upper 80s to around 90 degrees further south and west. Light precipitation out there right now, but as we head through tonight, storms in southwest Nebraska, eventually southeast Nebraska, and then a storm system to the north tries to make its way down into our neck of the woods by early tomorrow morning. Another overnight chance for storms for Nebraska.
Thank you, Rusty. That's going to do it for Channel 8 News at 4:30. Rod Fowler is coming up next. Stick with us. We'll be right back in just a few minutes.
Founded and operated by American veterans and patriots, we bring a warrior ethos to every case. We are Barry Law.
Let your voice be heard by sharing your photos and videos to the Now Local News app.
What is Spectrum Internet? It's secure internet for you and your family.
It's keeping kids like us safe online.
It's everything you want it to be. Switch today at Spectrum.com.
When you work with Friedman Law, we listen to you, assess your situation, and make sure the insurance company knows you'll be ready for trial if they're not fair. We'll get you more. We are the experts in injury law. Friedman Law, since 1962, helping injured people. It's what we do, it's all we do. Call Friedman Law, 402-476-1093, right now.
Looking to upgrade your home's electrical system? Wolf Electric is here to help. From panel diagnostics to custom installs, our licensed experts handle it all. Whether it's an outdoor outlet or a ceiling fan, we bring safe, code-compliant solutions to every job, backed by a 1-year warranty. Schedule your free quote today.
At Spectrum, we believe you shouldn't have to choose between speed, reliability, and value. That's why Spectrum fiber-powered internet gives you all three for just $40 a month. Call now or go online.
Hit the road this summer with a new ride from Duteau Chevrolet. With a lineup built for style, capability, and everyday versatility, Duteau has what you need for road trips, weekend plans, and everything in between. Right now, get 0% for 60 months or 2.9% for 72 months on 2026 Chevy Silverados, or get 2.9% for 48 months on a 2026 Traverse. Become part of the Duteau family today. Online anytime at DuteauChevrolet.com.
Washington needs Nebraska common sense more than ever. That's why Pete Ricketts is taking on both parties to ban congressional insider trading. Ricketts introduced the law to stop corrupt politicians from gaming the system and lining their own pockets. Career politicians hate it. Washington insiders want to kill it. But Ricketts will never stop fighting for what's right. Call Pete Ricketts. Thank him for fighting to stop insider trading and keep standing for Nebraska.
The incredible store-wide moving sale at Kia of Lincoln is now in progress. It's an immediate and total clearance of every new Kia and every used vehicle. Why? We would rather sell you a vehicle at a greatly reduced price rather than move it. Get financing from 0% APR, new 27 Celtos starting at $24,900. Financing for everyone and more. Kia of Lincoln, 1145 North 48th Street, or online at kiaoflincoln.com. Now under new management, you'll love our new way of doing business.
Now, from Nebraska's trusted news source, this is Channel 8 News at 5.
Coming up tonight, and only on 8 exclusive, frightening find.
I guess falling off the swing isn't the only thing you got to be worried about at the park these days.
How local parents are feeling after their young child picked up a pipe full of suspected drugs that was left in a park. Also tonight, training in the trenches. How prepared the Husker football team's offensive and defensive line coaches say they are for their first game in just a few weeks. Also tonight, the Ord storm, how much damage the town sustained in last night's severe weather, and what they've already canceled today as they're picking up the pieces. Also, abduction awareness.
A number of cases that have been very concerning.
2 abductions in 4 days. What the Lincoln Police Department is doing to attempt to prevent cases like this from happening. Only on 8, a trip to the playground taking a frightening turn. Take a look at this. One Lincoln father taking his 2-year-old son to Neighbors Park, which is near 30th and D, when his son picked up this pipe full of what they think are drugs. What followed was an immediate rush of shock. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Rod Fowler. Channel 8's Emma Norwood joins us now after talking to the dad on this alarming experience. Emma.
I'm standing here in the Woods Park neighborhood where it's a very quiet day today, and one dad describes it as super family oriented. But to his surprise, when he was guiding his 2-year-old son up to this slide just inches away, actually right here was a pipe with what appeared to be full of drugs. For one dad, it was supposed to be a normal day at this playground with his 2-year-old son. But in an instant, everything changed.
It was super surprising because last thing you'd expect is for your 2-year-old to hand you drug paraphernalia.
Jeremy Williams was guiding his son up these steps before helping him get up to this platform and ride the slide. That's when his son grabbed this pipe, allegedly full of drugs, and handed it to his father.
I was shocked, to say the least. I looked down at my wife and I said, "Babe, look what Bram just handed me." And she was shocked. All she goes, "Are you serious? Was it just sitting up there?"
This corner here is exactly where the pipe was found, and the trash can at the park, you can see, is only a couple of yards away. Williams immediately taking it from his son and throwing it in the garbage.
He's 2 years old, so usually everything goes in their mouth instantly. It could have been a whole different situation if he stuck it in his mouth or something like that. Then it would have been, ER visit and figure out what's in it, and thousands of dollars spent on an ER visit. And, it was just, it was a wild occurrence, very unexpected, that's for sure.
Williams says they are definitely going to be more cautious when it comes to taking a trip to the park, and they hope other parents are more aware as well.
I'm just happy that it turned out the way that it did and didn't have to take him anywhere, no doctors, no nothing like that. And I just threw it away and we continue playing at the park.
We reached out to Lincoln Parks and Recreation to see how often these parks are maintained and what they do when something like this happens. They sent along this statement saying in part, quote, Lincoln Parks and Recreation's park operations crews visit all parks on a regular schedule, some every day and others several times a week. And our crews take reports of hazardous or inappropriate materials seriously and will investigate and address them as quickly as possible. Reporting in Lincoln, Emma Norwood, Channel 8 News.
Thank you, Emma. Now let's get a look at your first forecast on this Tuesday evening. We got a good amount of rainfall across our area, starting in the early hours of the morning and continued into the early afternoon in some spots. Citizen journalist Brian and Dennis sending in rainfall totals from Lincoln and Ceresco into our Now Local News app. Looks like Brian collected under an inch, while Dennis got almost 2.5 inches in his rain catcher. And it sounds like the chance of storms during our overnight are going to happen again as we take a live look over at Lincoln on this Tuesday night. Rusty, let me guess, some folks are going to get a wake-up call from Mother Nature in the middle of the night again?
I don't know why she's on this particular pattern, but yes, she is going to be waking us up probably in some spots, at least early tomorrow morning. But at least we're getting some good rainfall. In my neck of the woods, southeast Lincoln, I got 0.95. The airport had 107. Grand Island had an inch, just over an inch. So did Columbus. Ord had just about a quarter of an inch. I think maybe a little bit more there. I think the wind sensor was knocked around, or the rain sensor was knocked around a little bit. Closer to home, though, 1 inch in Hastings, just about an inch and a half in Hebron. Falls City, Beatrice, over a quarter of an inch. So hit and miss in some spots, but a lot more hits than misses this time in southeast Nebraska. As we head through tonight, sunset is at 8:21. I think we'll see those temperatures falling through the 80s into the 70s, and another chance for storms after sunset. 84 degrees in Beatrice right now, the Shones roofing cam. Also feels like 88 because the dew point is pretty close to 70. Most of us in the 80s this afternoon. It is 92 in McCook. Dew point a little high, pretty close to 70. There's the rain showers out there right now. A lot of this not amounting to much, but there are chances for storms, and it starts right about there in southwest and southeastern Nebraska into Kansas. That lingers. And then another chance for storms comes our way out of north central Nebraska very early tomorrow morning. Wouldn't you know it, another overnight storm chance. We'll talk about that in the full forecast.
Thank you, Rusty. Ord is cleaning up some damage today following last night's storms. The town posting this to their social media today. This massive tree got split completely in half by the storm. The owners of this home, lucky that most of the tree landed in the yard and not on their house. Ord's offices were shut down today to help people faced with damages like this clean up. Ord Public Schools also closed today to assess storm damage and ensure safe travel routes for everyone. Today was supposed to be their first day, but it's now being pushed to tomorrow with an early 1 p.m. dismissal. They're asking their staff to not report to the school until they're notified to do so. Breaking now, N Street Drive-In Liquor Store officially closed for good. We brought you the story a couple of months ago when they first announced they would be shutting down, and since then they've been clearing their shelves with different deals and sales. They even auctioned off all of their signs and shelves and business supplies, and today they're ending operations for good with no sign of them opening their doors at another location at this time. Different members of the Husker football team speaking to the media today with the season growing ever so closer. The coaches of the big guys in the trenches giving us some inside scoops of how their linemen on both sides of the ball are feeling ahead of the season after giving us a sneak peek at their practice. Our sports director, Will Charlton, joins us now to get us up to speed on how the team is feeling with their first game just a few weeks away. Will?
Yeah, Rod, the Huskers held time for an open practice as well earlier. And then once again, coaches and players took the podium. It's now week 3 of fall camp, and the Huskers are getting closer and closer, like he said, to kicking things off on September 5th against Ohio. Special teams coordinator Brett Maher, offensive line coach Jeep Wade, and defensive tackles coach Corey Brown, and then some players all spoke. As camp has progressed, one of the biggest topics has been the strength and veteran leadership of the offensive line. Wade said he's content with where they're at right now, and talked about how valuable it is to have so much experience in that room, while also acknowledging that there's still room to grow.
It's valuable, and just the type of people they are. They care. It's something about, we talk about ego strength, to have confidence in yourself, but have the humility to know that we got to get better, and that's something that these kids will take. You can coach them. You can coach them hard. You can get on them. And just because they are grown men, they are experienced, they've been through it.
Wade also said that he wants to put together a 5-man unit that can be among the league's best and put that group in a situation where they can be a vital part in Nebraska becoming a consistently winning football team. We'll hear from Wade again, as well as Brown and Maher at 6 and 10 in Sports Zone. For now, Rod, let's get it back to you.
All right, thank you, Will. And high school sports getting started up as well, and we want to get as many student athletes as possible in the spotlight. You can scan the QR code on your screen and download the Now Local News app. If you send videos of any high school sport into the Now Local News app, we'll pay you for doing so. It's the best way to get your student athlete the recognition they deserve, no matter what sport they play. New at 5, Senator Pete Ricketts announcing an event at the Nebraska State Fair. He is slated to debate his opponent, Dan Osborne, at the State Fair on September 1st. But his new event is scheduled for the day before, August 31st, where he'll be talking about federal issues with fairgoers. Senator Ricketts is going to be joined by U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Brooke Rollins and also Senator Deb Fischer during this event on the 31st of August. Stay with us. We have more heading your way after the break and a new batch of stories during our 6 o'clock news, including Cash for Crete. More than $1 million just recently awarded to the city through a grant, what they say they're going to be putting the money towards. And coming up after the break, addressing the abductions, how the Lincoln Police Department says they're attempting to prevent cases like the 2 we've seen in the past week from happening in our city again. Stay with us. Abduction cases in Lincoln sparking conversation within our local police department. 2 abductions in 4 days. No doubt frightening situations. Luckily, both of these cases ended up with the victims getting home safely and the suspects being apprehended. But as the police department told us yesterday, these cases could have turned out much differently if it wasn't for the help from the community. Our Skylar Sears joins us now after speaking with authorities about how common it is to have 2 cases happen in such a short time span and what police are doing in response. Skylar?
Questions popping up after 2 alleged abductions in Lincoln within just days of each other. Some are wondering about the protections in place for victims of domestic violence. Well, I took those questions to LPD's Victim Assistance Unit to see what can be done when someone is concerned for their safety. Inside the Lincoln Police Department, the Victim Assistance Unit works with people experiencing domestic violence and other crimes. I was asked not to film the advocates inside their office because of the nature of their work. Beth McQueen, who manages the unit, says they've dealt with a number of serious domestic violence cases in recent years.
You know, in the last couple of years, we've had a lot of particularly domestic violence cases that have been fairly significant, with the homicides and the cases that you mentioned as well, but a number of cases that have been very concerning. You know, this is among all of the other types of crimes that we serve. This is one of them that's been at the forefront for the past couple of years now.
The 2 recent abduction investigations are among those cases, raising questions about what protections are in place when someone is at risk. Inside the unit, pamphlets and other information helps walk victims through some of the options available. That can include a no-contact order after an arrest, or a victim can ask for a protection order. McQueen says advocates work with each person to figure out what makes sense for their individual situation. That could include looking at safe places to stay. But even with protections in place, McQueen says there's no guarantee that will keep them safe 100% of the time.
They could ask for a protection order. None of those are automatic physical protections for that person. We still have to do some safety planning with them.
I compiled a list of resources in the Lincoln area like Voices of Hope and Friendship Home. And we're going to put the links in this article on our website at klkntv.com. Reporting in the studio, Skylar Sears, Channel 8 News.
All right, thank you, Skylar. Right now, the Kearney Police Department is alerting people of an ongoing scam. They say some local businesses are getting the calls. A person is requesting donations on behalf of the Veterans and American Legion posts to support veterans with PTSD. Police say the callers are scammers, so make sure you do not give out any personal or financial information to them. Also right now, this man, the CEO of the Friend Community Hospital, abruptly resigning. He's Jared Chafin, and State Auditor Mike Foley accuses him of financial abuse. He's accused of $38,000 in improper credit card charges. This is video of the hospital 2 years ago when we did a story there. We reached out to them for comment but have not heard back.
Now, your Storm Alert Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Rusty Dawkins.
So we've been continuing these overnight storms over and over again, and this is just from last night into early this morning. Storms really started to kick up here near O'Neill, and you can tell they just took a dive south. You can see the line that the storms took. They stopped in Grand Island and then hung a left and followed Interstate 80 to Lincoln. Just a strange weather pattern. I mean, normally they go west to east or northwest to southeast, and generally a straight line, but this one just went due south and then a hard left and went east, or went, yes, east. See, it's confusing, but lots and lots of, well, there were 90-mile-per-hour wind gusts through Ord, so a lot of damage there. You probably saw that earlier in our show. Barry Lockham looking at a decent day. A lot of green out there. Goodness, I don't remember seeing Lincoln this green in August in quite a while. So we'll take the moisture. Many areas of the state need more moisture, so hopefully we can get them some. But temperature-wise, not bad. Comfortable day. Lower 80s, middle 80s for most of us. 84 Beatrice, Wahoo at 85, along with Omaha, 81 in Nebraska City. It is still 76 in Falls City. Dew points, though, pretty close to 70, so it's a little muggy out there, but when you're in the lower 80s, that's not bad. Oh, this is why Falls City is still on the cooler side. Rain showers moving through. A couple of thunderstorms popping up there on the very edge. You can kind of see it right there, southeast of Beatrice. This is an area I'm watching for severe weather potential later tonight. Light rain showers here, and then a few storms trying to move into the Panhandle. Another portion of Nebraska is the southwestern corner of the state into Colorado, where another chance for severe weather's at. And it's kind of all over the place. Notice there's yellow here, there's yellow there. Those are slight risks, bigger spot of yellow there. And then way up there into parts of western South Dakota and Wyoming, another area of yellow. But then most of us in this green, marginal risk. The potential is there for hail on both sides, and especially in the yellow shaded area. Maybe even a quick spin-up tornado. We had a couple of those last night. Didn't amount to much, but the straight line winds, those 90-mile-per-hour winds sure did. And then damaging wind also in southeastern and southwestern parts of the state. So how's this going to line up? Stormcast a little iffy on this. You'll see the storms form right there, south of Beatrice, and then over here in southwestern Nebraska. And notice it's another overnight chance for storms, mainly after sunset into the overnight hours. This kind of dwindles, I think, early morning, and this kind of gives way to maybe a few strong storms lingering through 2 o'clock in the morning until about 5. And then we transition over to Wednesday, and just about everybody has a marginal, just a level 1 risk. And a couple of different models are saying this makes a beeline. Remember the track that I just showed you, what happened last night? May do the same thing. Starts over here in north central Nebraska, makes a beeline to Grand Island, and then kind of makes its way over to Lincoln again. Mother Nature, what is going on? Why is this a preferred path for you eventually, all of a sudden? Just an incredible couple of times in a row if this happens, and it just did not too long ago. So by Wednesday morning, lingering showers and storms, and then everything kicks off to the east as we head into Wednesday afternoon. This has been a strange month, that's for sure. And sure, why not? Thursday, central and northeast Nebraska, another chance for some strong to severe storms. Tonight, temperatures in the middle and upper 60s. Highs tomorrow, I think, will be close to 80. Comfortable day if we can avoid the severe weather. Storms possible on Wednesday and Thursday. Small chances on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think the better chance would be Friday and Sunday, just kind of on the edges on Saturday, very early, then very late. And then we dry out. Finally, it looks like we dry out. And temperatures in the middle and upper 80s most of next week.
All right, thank you, Rusty. New tonight, getting people to round up at the register is going a long way for Open Harvest Co-op Grocery. Those couple of cents that all of the customers rounded up to totaled almost $1,600 during the month of July. They donated every penny to the Friends of Wilderness Park group. It focuses on conservation and restoration of the nature and wildlife in that park. Open Harvest does this every month and leaves a selection of what organization they donate to up to the public. Also new tonight, the Food for Hope nonprofit group is looking for people to help them out in the kitchen. They make affordable food for people facing food insecurity using local ingredients, and today they're letting the public know they need a kitchen prep worker and have their Facebook messages open for anyone who wants to help them out. Don't go anywhere. We have more for you after the break and a whole lot more coming up at 6, including packed with projects. UNL releasing their major projects list for the semester, what students should look out for while getting around campus, and what is already there for them to enjoy. And don't forget, all of the Kansas City Chiefs preseason games will be on Channel 8 this year. The next game, going up Saturday at 6:30 p.m. They're going to be taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. All of the Chiefs preseason games will be exclusively airing on our channel, so make sure you don't miss out on the action. We'll be right back. New at 5, it's Volunteer Firefighter Recognition Day. Firth Rural Fire and Rescue posting these pictures of their team in celebration of the day. They are thanking everyone in their squad for their service, sacrifice, and dedication. This Recognition Day was established back in 1984 by President Ronald Reagan to honor public safety contributions from people who serve in local volunteer fire departments. And thank goodness we do have people, men and women, who are willing to give their time to be on a volunteer fire department. Could be called out at any time during the day. So we salute you. All right, Rusty, let's get a final check of the weather, see how it's looking tonight.
Wouldn't mind some precipitation in other spots. There's been many areas in eastern Nebraska that's seen a ton of rain, so hopefully if you haven't seen a lot of rain yet, you get it tonight or the next couple of days. Satellite and radar showing just some light rain showers over towards Beatrice, central Nebraska, and then moving into the Panhandle. Tonight, though, strong to severe storms possible in southwestern Nebraska and far southeastern Nebraska into northeastern Kansas. That kind of lingers a little bit, and then another storm system tries to move in from north central Nebraska through central Nebraska and eventually into eastern Nebraska by early Wednesday morning. That's kind of the same path that last storm took last night. Just very interesting. Early tomorrow morning, temperatures in the 60s for just about everybody. Highs tomorrow in the middle and upper 70s and lower 80s. Very un-August-like. We don't usually see temperatures in the 70s for highs in August, but we'll take it. We do all warm up, though, on Thursday. I think a little more sunshine. Most of us get into the middle and upper 90s. 7-day forecast, I think we'll see chances for storms Wednesday and Thursday. Small chances Friday into the weekend, and then it looks like we finally dry out for a while, and those temperatures remaining in the 80s for the foreseeable future.
Thank you, Rusty, and thank you so much for joining us. World News with David Muir is up next. We'll see you back here at 6 o'clock.
Founded and operated